Some Nibbles. J-Dog back, another goddamn homeboy hangout. We got your favorite back. We got Paul from goddamn Embalmer, Kernagia. And I guess, what do you want? Well, I guess first things first is, what do you want to talk about Embalmer? Did we can't say anything or anything? Or not say anything?
Well, I mean,
talked about briefly. Did you watch Brutal Baxter's video?
I did watch Baxter's video. Yep. And
yay, nay, good stuff.
Yeah, it's all cool, man.
Did you see that? People liked, you ain't got no gay deathcore on here, you do ya? No. Oh, good. people like that in the comments. They quote. I was like, that was pretty. I didn't think much. It was pretty funny.
We keep it real, man.
Good,
you know what I mean?
Good.
But basically, when it comes to Embalmer, man, you know what can I say? I mean, I was at Maryland Death Fest, you know, hanging out with you and everything down there, and everybody else, all the freaks. And I get a text from Roy out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Paulie, you know, I think I'm going to hang it up, man.
Oh, was that? I didn't know that.
You know what I mean? So it's just like not the most opportune time to really have a discussion around that. You know, I fully planned on going back home, and you know, we had an awesome ass jam room. We had fucking shit going on, man. You know, so it's like I figured we would be able to talk about things when I got back. He's like, "Oh, I already pulled my drums out of there and everything, bro." So it was just like that. You know what I mean? I don't know, a couple different things. His hand had been hurting him and stuff. You know, blasting away for 35 or 37 years or whatever it was. You know, and he was a real pioneer. Original dude that was really starting with that type of a super terrorizer type. You know,
no, he has his own sound. He has a sound of his own. I like his drum sound, yeah.
Man. So, like, you know, what can I say? The guy turned 59 last month.
Yeah,
he's almost 60 years old. It's very uncommon that the drummer is the last guy standing in a band. And really, if it was a guitar player or something, if we had any other original dude in the band, I would have kept going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just got a younger drummer, and we would have had a lot more longevity. But, you know, I said from the beginning, you know, when Roy's done, I'm done. When I joined, I know, you know, Brian would probably like to continue the band, and
but that album should come out, though, don't you think, the recorded album?
Well, you know, I hope it comes out. You know, I don't really want to talk about that till I have a chance to sit down with Brian. You know,
well, Brian played me some songs in the car. He introduced like this. He's like, "So what do you want to start off with? Slower, creepy, or all out brutal?"
Yeah, it kicks ass, man. I mean, I'm really proud of it. Unfortunately, you know, that's another thing that, you know, it took so long to just get that done. It's just, and everything. It just, at some point, you know, at this point, I hope it comes out. Me and Brian, obviously, everybody in the band are all still friends. Everything's cool. But, you know, he just moved to Parma, like he mentioned in his video. Everything. I've been busy traveling, doing other shit. It's just me and him need to have bro time like this, and we need to sit down and we need to iron a few things out related to the album, what's going to happen, you know, things of that nature. And we'll get there. It's just, you know, I don't want to do a public interview and shit, you know, about minute detail things related to Embalmer until I have a chance to sit down with my dude and fucking, you know, talk about it.
No, I get all that. I just put this here. I just thought it'd be a shame if it never comes out, like, because it's done.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, people just never get to hear it, you know.
I agree 100%, man. And, you know, there's a couple of schools of thought there. You know, I mean, Brian has been in a lot of bands and stuff where he's written a good amount of stuff, and, you know, either wasn't credited or the band's dead or his time in the band is over, and it's just like, so we got to work all that out, man. You're pretty much putting out a posthumous fucking album, but I think it should see the light of day, man. Those songs are what they are. You know what I mean? We got together, me and him, and just really, I helped write a lot of the drum parts on there to go with, you know what I mean, his sick riffs that were a little bit different than the style of writing with Mark Davis and what Roy was used to, which was more like traditional type stuff. Bastard has kind of like a very unique writing style. It's a mixture of like the old Embalmer influences, you know, death metal, more brutal type shit, but also like deranged style, like hammer-on, fast picking, and like the sick grinders and stuff like that. But yeah, all the elements are intact. It's ready to go, and it's a shame that this happened because, you know what I mean? The band broke up rather at this time because the album was like finally right there, like, you know. So we'll see what happens with it, man. I hope it comes out. But for now, just keep it busy with Kernagia.
Anything new with that? Like,
yeah. So with Kernagia, got to play some killer shows this year. Obviously, we played Maryland Death Fest. That was fucking awesome, man. Got to go out to Chicago and play with Melting Rot and Blood. Open for them.
Just interviewed Melting Rot. What do you think of those guys? What's your honest take? Forget people like, what do you think of their music, Melting Rot?
I
want your honest opinion.
Well, I think it's sick. But see what I mean? I'll mention two things when it comes to this. I've always been a gore grind head.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I've always liked shit like, you know.
Well, you always like the more death metal brutal shit. Like,
yeah, but Death Grind was a piece of that, like Gut, fucking, you know, Dead Infection, of course. And it's kind of funny now. You see that, you know, things are kind of cyclical, and you can kind of call it trendy if you want. You know what I mean? But you know, things always go around, right? So I can't hate on a younger generation that just discovered all those bands and wants to start doing all that shit. Like those guys. Those guys are like, you know, towards the top of the food chain with that shit. Another band from Ohio that I'm not sure if you're aware of is Noah from Nunslaughter. His band with Joe Reed, who now sings for...
Is that the Blood Tusker?
That's Mutated Sex Organ, dude.
Oh, no, is that the one you helped out with?
Yeah, well, I didn't help out with
backing vocals or something?
I did vocals on their first release or whatever, a little bit of backing vocals. But that last one, Abyss of Flesh, is so sick. And that's about as authentic of gore grind as you can get right now, in my opinion, to go along with like miasmatic necrosis and stuff of that, you know, melting rot and stuff of that fucking echelon of stuff. But, you know, that is fucking... They don't put any thought into it. Noah does all the drums, all the guitars, all the bass, records it all. And then Joe does the vocals, and they have some choice guest appearances on vocals too. So that's the way
Joe, the
drummer
from Nunslaughter, does vocals?
No, Joe Reed.
Joe Reed.
Yeah, Joe Reed. He was in Severed Remains.
I know Joe. Of course.
Yeah, he's singing for Limb Splitter.
I was just thinking because we're talking Nunslaughter.
No. But it's a side project for Noah. Most people recognize him from Nunslaughter and the national audience and everything like that. So that shit, if you don't know it, dude, especially that last one, Abyss of Flesh, killer.
They actually have an album, like a physical copy.
Yeah, they do shit on multiple like underground grind labels, like Grand Vomit, Grind Father, those types of labels and shit. So they'll have a tape release on one and you know a CD on the other. No LP releases yet, but I guarantee if you heard Abyss of Flesh, you'd fucking love it, dude. So check it out.
Yeah, I'll
hook you up with a copy next time if you know. When I see, I'll grab a copy off those dudes. But the point is, like with gore grind, it's different than death metal. You can't sit there and plan to write gore grind. It needs to be spontaneous. It needs to be like they really just carve out time. Like, come on down to the studio. We're writing 8 songs. Boom, and they write 8 songs right there, and right then and there, spontaneous with the energy on the spot. If you sit there for fucking weeks or a year and you're like, man, we're making a gore grind album, you can't think about it that much, or it's not really what gore grind really is.
It's almost supposed to have a chaotic, like not supposed to make sense.
Right. So, like, you know, I'm glad it's coming back around like that too. But it gets to that line where you got to separate the wheat from the chaff. What's the trendy shit? What's the people that really are underground motherfuckers, like the Melting Rock guys and you know people like that really want to carry that miasmatic necrosis. People that want to carry that legacy forward without it being just a trend hop, because that's inherently what always fucking happens and always has from the beginning of time. Is
100%.
All the trend jumpers jump on the shit. And then they saturate everything, and then half of them bail the fuck out, and you never hear from them again. And it's just like, I wish you would have never stepped in the first place. Like, fuck off.
But with that being said, and a lot of people don't do the math, as much as it pains me to say, because it's some of my favorite releases of all time. If you think about it, dude, most of the Swedish band and Finnish bands, they did that.
Oh, 100%.
They put out 1 or 2 good records, and then they disband. It's like, or like take a band like Dark Throne. It's like dude, you start off as a death metal band, then a black metal band, then you're playing like you're all over the place.
Dude, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because we could just talk about trends in general, dude. And that's actually a band that a lot of people are going to disagree with me on. I was never really a black metal fucking dude anyway, just like Baxter. Like I was always a death metal and a thrash guy. Day one all the way through, dude. Very few black metal bands that I actually like.
Who are some that you actually? I don't know of any that you like actually. Who do you like? Is there?
I wouldn't even call it like, dude. You know,
do you like anything by Marduk or anything like that?
I like Dark Endless, shit like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll pop it on. The First Immortal, like Brian back in the day he bought up a whole bunch of like the remaining Jail America Turbo catalog type shit. So he had tons of like original copies of Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism and Morpheus Descends and Deteriorate and all that shit. So I grabbed all that shit up. It was very widely available anyway, right? Yeah. But at least that stuff was blasting and it had some brutality to it. When it gets to like a lot of the keyboard stuff and the atmosphere and the fucking chord shit and the, I don't like it. Like another thing, Mayhem, De Mysterious or whatever the fuck.
You don't like that at all?
Those vocals are the fucking worst ever, dude.
I like that record.
I don't like that. I can
see why someone won it, but I like it.
I don't like any of that shit, man. Emperor, I guess if someone has it playing in the background, I'll listen to it.
Sure.
But you're not going to have me reaching for that in my rack to go pop on in the Night Side Eclipse or any of that kind of stuff. Respect for, what they're doing. They're playing some shows again, and obviously are very influential in that whole scene.
Yeah.
Just not my thing.
Yeah.
And then like, but to your point, like Dark Throne, only thing I like is Soulside Journey.
Yeah.
It's like you have a killer record that just it's cool, like Scandinavian sound of death metal. Then you get Blazing a Northern Sky, and it's just like, do we purposely put out a record that sounds like shit on fucking purpose? You know what I mean? But I guess that's what it is. Like, well, they were just taking it back to the 80s, man. Fucking, they were, think they were rebelling against more sound and all the clean sound. They wanted to go back to the stripped down. Hey, if that's your thing, great. I listen to a lot of demos that sound like shit from back in the day too, but it's death metal. It's just not my bag. Yeah. And to have drastic style jumps like that, I kind of lose a little bit of respect for that. See, another band that's super ultra popular that I think is a whole total trend hopping band is fucking Behemoth, dude.
Oh yeah,
that band. You listen to the first one, total black metal.
Total black
then
metal.
Death metal's in, so now we're a death metal band.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like extrapolate too much, but like look at a band like Opeth too, dude. Everybody's googing gogging. Oh, the growls are back on the fucking Opeth album. It's just like, okay, dude, why? Because death metal's big again and the dude's not in Bloodbath anymore or whatever. Like, hey, if it floats your boat, great, man. I'm happy for you.
Did you like any Opeth?
No fucking spins in my fucking player.
Yeah. Do you like anything by Opeth?
It's a non-factor, dude.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, there were ads when you're going through zines and shit, and they had an album called Orchid or something.
Yeah, it's got a flower. That's why I never listened to it.
Flower. I'm like,
why would I ever listen to this?
Why on earth would I ever fucking listen to this?
That's why, dude. It's funny because I literally never even heard it, and that's when I saw the cover. I'm like, I don't even want to like this.
Exactly, dude. So and you didn't have YouTube and all that back then.
No,
I couldn't go preview.
You had to buy it.
Hey, maybe the cover's just gay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. You got to buy it.
No, you know what I mean? Like I'm not wasting of all the cool shit I can spend my money on. That ain't one of the fucking things I'm ponying up for. Sorry, dude. Too much
dude,
other
like
cool
I said,
shit.
and I stumbled across it accidentally. I said in an older video on that What's in My Bag and what's that store called? Amoeba Records.
Yeah.
One of the guys,
LA.
One of the guys in Opeth's on there. What's on my bag? I'm like, dude, this guy looks like a straight up fucking child molester. I'm just saying, he may not be, may be cool, but he's got a flower on his cover and he looks like John Wayne Gacy. God damn it!
Yeah, man.
I was like, I was right. I ain't listening to this bullshit.
So like trendy shit like that. There's just no place for it to me, man. But then again, you have like what I do like to see is like the resurgence of a lot of the stalwarts from the scene that are like now that have almost kind of not rebranded, but they've always done their thing consistently with death metal, and they've gotten the popularity now. It's all come around. And a lot of them are New York bands. So like all your classics, like Incantation, they were doing shit. They were on Relapse and they were off, for various reasons. Then they were on Necropolis, small label. They were on Listenable, all these different labels. And I felt like they've always stayed consistent to put out albums. But it wasn't until they re-signed to Relapse and then, went back on the touring bonanza and everything, even more than they usually do. Because John just doesn't fucking quit. You know what I mean? Hey, you can't play? We'll get someone else that can play. Like, there's no stopping that motherfucker, right? Yeah.
But he's on a mission. He's got a goal, and he's going to do it no matter what. Yeah.
But they've reestablished themselves with, like, the 20s and 30s crowd.
Yeah.
Like they're a relevant band.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Immolation, another one. Relevant band.
Yeah.
Get the respect they finally deserve. I saw a lot of those early Immolation shows. People were like, oh, dude, you saw them with Gorephobia, man. And, oh, shit, you saw them Here and After, fucking with 6 Feet Under. Oh, you saw them in 95, dude. Fucking,
that was back when nobody cared about
this
them.
And that. People don't believe me when I tell you. I'm like, dude, there was 50 people there. There was 35 people there. There was,
nobody cared.
You know what I mean? So, Mortician, for example, we're here today at a Mortician show, right?
Nope.
When Reanimated Dead Flesh came out, they played at the Agora Ballroom.
Yeah.
There was 13 paid or something there. It was a fucking abysmal show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, whatever it takes. Like a lot of people say Mortician, people rediscovered them off of memes or whatever that, I make memes while listening to Mortician and all that. Hey, whatever it takes, dude. Who cares? The point is everybody needs a gateway, right? And trends have always existed. Some people are here for a short time. Some people are here for a long time, right? Some people will fall off, but you can't say that there's not some lifelong death metal heads that are fucking being made.
Oh no, of course
throughout all these people and all these younger cats that are fucking doing shit, right, and getting into it now.
Sure.
So, it's good. I take the good with the bad. I got nothing to prove anymore. You ain't have anything to fucking prove, dude. It doesn't affect me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're waiting on a bunch of dudes in their 40s and 50s to be the main core of support for your band, you're probably in a dying band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So is there any particular band or bands around that really annoy you? You kind of mentioned that Behemoth, Dark Throne, but is there anybody in particular? Maybe they're a newer band that they just piss you off for whatever reason.
Man, I should have a really good answer here, dude. But I guess not really off the top of my head. I'm sure if I thought about it long enough, I would. But the older I get, dude, honestly, man, the more I just learn to not get amped up about shit, and I just don't pay shit any fucking mind. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, you can't escape some of it. If you're on social media, you just see all the attention hogs and all the people that are just, you wonder if they're in a band because they want to jam or if they're in a band because it's a popularity contest. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah.
Like something to post about. Always some kind of antics that the people are fucking doing to garner attention and shit. And by default, they check out the band. But hey, they're all publicity stunts. I can't hate. Those people are all in a lot more successful bands that, you know, that are more active than anything I ever did, dude. So, you know.
What do you think about the bands that get canceled, especially ones that where you're like, what? It's like there's no reason.
Oh, like someone talking about canceling Cannibal Corpse. I was just hanging out with Rob Barrett.
Oh, I didn't hear about Cannibal, but nothing surprised me at this point.
So, like, you know, I was just hanging out with Rob Barrett, by the way, up in.
You just said that. Yeah.
We played Buffalo.
He just came on out
last weekend. You know what I mean, with Hellwitch, Kernergia show again. You know, we opened for Hellwitch up there in memory of. We play every year, like one of my bands for the memory of Brian Patterson, who did the original Day of Death. So yeah. So it was cool. He had a couple weeks back at home in Buffalo, and he came out to the show with Dave Craiglow from fucking Baphomet and, you know, a bunch of other people that I know, old school heads and shit. It's a small scene, but
you
know,
you brought up Baphomet. Do you know what the hell ever happened to TJ Frost? Did you know? Does anybody know?
Well, you know what? Funny you bring that up. Like in 2014 or whatever, we actually got to play with Baphomet in Buffalo.
Was TJ doing that?
TJ was in it too. Yeah. So basically, it was TJ and it was Dave. And they had, I think the rest of the band was made up from members of Seplophile.
Because if it had like TJ and like even say
that was
two or three original guys, like if they did a one-off show, that's something I would go see.
Oh, 100%.
Like I'm like, okay,
it was killer.
Because you watch a channel, like I talk about, it's like most bands, like even bands like I like, because I don't care about seeing they're playing songs off a new album I don't know, or it's no original members, or the vocals sound drastically different. Something. If it was that, I'm like, okay, now this I will go see. Like 100%, I would go watch that.
Baphomet and Banished, dude. All that shit was so killer, dude. Like, you know, the demos are great. You know, the obviously, you know, the full length for Baphomet is awesome. Then you had Deliver Me Unto Pain for the Banished and all that stuff. And I got that on a 7-inch actually first on the Peaceville single series on blue vinyl. So when you saw that artwork with like the S&M scene in the graveyard, the strappado going in the chick's, you know what I mean? Just chick getting fucking totally shredded in the ass. It's like, this is extreme, dude. You know, it's fucking great.
No, I thought that shit was,
you know,
I mean, I think the Dead Shall Inherit, I think that's one of the greatest straight up death metal albums ever written.
Oh, of course, man. That right there is a definition of just total,
just death metal, just like literally just death
100%. It's got everything you want. It's got groovy parts. It's got mid pace. Just
it's memorable.
Bass,
it's memorable.
Fucking rumbling, just mayhem, dude. And you know, TJ's vocals obviously were more throaty and original '90s style. So yeah, but to get to play a show with the reunited band with Embalmer,
so whatever happened? Like, what does he do? Like, is he still?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like it was cool just to see him in that instance. Dave, I still keep in touch with, you know, a good amount.
Does he still like death
Gary
metal? Gary
Shapani, I actually with him, did a trade with him, sent him some shit.
So he still likes like death metal.
Oh yeah, dude. So Dave Craiglow, he came out. He's got a vest with all kinds of patches. He's wearing an Embalmer shirt because Kernergia was playing.
Cool. That's cool.
Just, you know, beyond just, you know, he's just a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it's so cool that people that when I was a kid fucking jamming this tape or jamming this CD, and then you get to go do all this cool shit. These people just become friends of yours, dude. You know, like Baphomet played back in the day in Cleveland at Peabody's, and then they, you know, Blood of Christ. I think Tom booked that show or something, and then they played, and then they played Detroit after that too. I'm pretty sure with some shit, but yeah, that's the classic stuff, man. And as far as cancel culture and all the rest of that kind of stuff, those people can just fuck right off. Okay, like,
I mean, you agree you should be allowed to sing about whatever, like it's freedom of speech, even if you disagree.
Make no mistake about it. I am 100% free speech. 100% no ifs, ands, buts about it. Well, free speech, but this.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
because that gets slippery.
Fuck you, because who are these people that are moral authorities that are going to decide?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we can agree, oh, no Nazis. Okay, oh, no misogyny. No this. You know what? If you don't like it, how about just do what everybody's done for the beginning of time? Don't listen to it. Don't support it.
Better just do a dead Kennedys and napalm death. They come Nazi punks fuck off, dude. Shit, that's anti.
But I think it's hilarious because when people, all these cancel culture people, like Kim Kelly, I think her name is, and all these fucking losers. If you're a PC person, dude, me and you aren't going to get along very well.
No, probably not.
You know what I mean? If you're politically correct, if you're fucking all about, like, you know, a social justice warrior and all the rest of this kind of shit, me and you aren't the same.
No.
Because I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still say shit I shouldn't say. I don't give a fuck. Dude.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I know that's from my era, how I
Yeah.
grew up, dude. Obviously, I temper it and depending on the setting of where I'm at or
Yeah,
whatever.
same. I
You
do
know?
IPG it for the channel too.
So
I'm
like,
but dude, back in the '90s and stuff, like this is how everybody's parents talked. This is how you did in school. Like, it was just normal. It's not until these fucking wimps who call the goddamn shots are fucking ruling everything.
It gets really hard having, culture and having, the scene and everything else taken over by people in their 20s.
They got no business even being in it.
It's just like, dude, I ain't got no respect for you, dude.
No.
Like, I don't want to hear your opinion. And to something else Baxter brought up in his interview too is like, I agree. Too many people have a voice.
Oh, way
you know
too
I
many.
mean?
Way too many.
There's so many people that should just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So, and it goes, but I will say, this is a double-edged coin, right? So I'm free speech 100% across the board, no fucking censorship at all. All right? And that goes, I hate Antifa, I hate all those people, but guess what? I'm not going to go fucking try to cancel them or whatever. They could say whatever the fuck they want over there.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Say what you want over here.
Yeah, say what we want over here.
And everybody in the middle, they say what they want.
I don't pay attention to you at all. The only time I pay attention to you
is when you're fucking with us.
Is when I'm trying to go to a show or I'm trying to support a band and then you start putting your 2 cents in. Or if you want to, you know what? I'll even take it a step further. If you want to protest outside of a concert and demonstrate like the Christians used to and shit outside the original day of the original Michigan Death Fest and Deicide shows and all that, that's your right.
Mm-hmm.
That is your right to protest. You're exercising, again, another constitutional right.
But they should be allowed to play the show inside.
The problem is, it goes beyond protest to calling venues, just like the Hell's Heroes now. There's a recent example.
Yeah, total games.
Absu fucking gets added on there, right? Oh, blah, blah,
I know,
blah, blah, blah. Just shut up. Now, you know what? Whoever they had in their band, Transformer, whatever, that's fine. Do your thing. I don't judge on that. I think they're in Crossspitter too or whatever. Isn't that right?
I think so, yeah.
And some other bands. Cool, no problem. You know what I mean? But I don't know exactly what happened with that whole story, but I was kind of like floated to me that they were going to put a release out or something. And they wanted to put like a whole like LGBTQ like monologue inside the release or under the CD or something like that. So I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. I stand corrected.
I don't know about it. Yeah.
But like, if that's true, you shouldn't use a band that you're in as a platform to promote your fucking politics. And same thing with some bands. I'm not going to mention any names, but the last election and everything like that. If you as a band member, on your personal page want to advocate for a political candidate, go ahead.
But not in your band.
If you're going to use the band page with all your 50,000 or 30,000 followers or whatever you have to promote a political candidate, dude, I think that's whack as fuck.
Well, that's just a dumb business decision too, because you're going to lose a ton of
automatically going to alienate 50% of the people.
No matter what side
the country is divided completely in half,
right?
100%. So automatically you lost either 49% or 51% of the people that you ever could appeal to, dude.
So either wise, business-wise, it's stupid.
I never liked politics in music. Like even Napalm Death, all that kind of shit. It's always so weird when you go to a show like that. It's just like, you have Barney on stage and he's talking about, nuclear armaments in the United States or fucking conflicts and that we're involved with somewhere else. It's just like, dude, it's not your deal, bro. Like, I just get real tired of it. That's why you're not going to catch me dead at some of those hardcore shows like with Drop Dead and some of these ultra PC fucking, bands that want to go up there. And it's not, when you go to that kind of shit, dude, it's almost like they're not even playing a show. It's almost like the music is secondary to whatever shit they want to talk and message they want to convey in between the songs.
Yeah.
But punk and hardcore and all that always was rooted in
so
anti-establishment,
that's kind of why I get
politics, but that's just not my bag, bro.
That's why I agree on the Napalm thing, but the reason they got slight pass and I was still a fan was because I was like, that's kind of where that rooted, and it came from hardcore punk. I was like, a little bit more pass. Now if Deicide started doing that, I'm like, come on, dude, this is dumb. Or if Cannibal started doing it, I'm like, dude, no, like your niche was this. Stick with it's fucking stupid.
I'd rather hear about evil shit, zombies, horror, gore, death, like this typical death metal kind. Oh, don't you want to expand at all? No, I don't want to expand. Certain things need to stay like this, in my opinion, because that's You know, oh, what do you want to listen to? People bitch, you know, when I was talking about Amorphous and fucking people want to forget about Massacre putting out that terrible album Promise. And
it's funny, nobody brings that up. Like people will bring up like you didn't like Tales from a Thousand Lakes. I like it, but I mean, but some, people will bring that up. They don't. But the Promise by Massacre, I'm like nobody ever brought. I'm like, dude, that was just bad.
It's like it's a Pantera record.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
so on the way to Maryland, me and Dora actually put that on. In the car.
Dude, it's really,
I didn't tell him what it was.
He's
dude.
like, what the fuck is this?
Played it. He's like, fuck, man. I'm just like, but I forget what it is. Whatever the opening song is on that has like the funniest lyrics on the face of the earth, like the chorus and all this shit. You know, and Massacre's, you know, active now and doing their thing again, you know, more than ever.
Yeah,
much respect to Cam Lee.
I'll say this. I mean,
you know,
I'll say it on camera because it's not a mystery that didn't go through. I was talking about that for my Dead by Dog Fest.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about having a Massacre be the headliner, and I was in contact with Cam. And I was like, what I want, dude, is not only just an old school set. I was like, I want you doing specifically the entire first demo, Aggressive Tyrant, Mutilator, and Death and Hell. Because you don't play those songs.
No.
He was like, all right, you know, I was up for it, but he kind of just didn't get back to me. He said he's going to come up to this next Wasteland in October. Okay. I was like, let's shoot an interview, bro. He's like, yeah. So hopefully I'll get a Cam Lee.
Total legend, man. You know what I mean?
Total legend.
Cam Lee, total legend. But again, I can't imagine. I can't put myself in Cam's head to actually go into the studio and track that. I know he's come back in interviews later and said, "Oh, I told those guys I didn't want it released and blah blah, and they did it anyway or whatever." But the point is, I would have never went in and even tracked that to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask about Cam unless he doesn't want to talk about it.
No disrespect either, Cam. We love you, bro. If you watch this, love you, bro.
No, but Cam, I told him an email because it was weird because I was supposed to go on some podcast that he was on, and his host said, "Yeah, but Cam thinks you don't like him." I'm like, what? I was like, it doesn't make any sense. I was literally praised the death demos, the Mantis demo death demos that he's on, and the Massacre demos. Those are like some of my favorite top 5 demos ever. I'm like,
groundbreaking.
I was like, I don't know, like, why does he think I don't like him? I was like, I said nothing but good things about him.
You don't have what's going on right now without that shit.
No.
Period, man. You know? But funny thing about Massacre, so before they restarted Massacre or whatever, another 2011, 2010, 2011, something like that, Brian Patterson booked his first return Day of Death or whatever at Club Infinity in
was that the one with Sam Biles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. Cam Lee played. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was called Cam Lee.
Yeah.
But it was funny because, you know, Jim Kanye was there too.
Yeah.
And he's like a raging, you know, old school maniac. He's going to quiz you. He's going to criticize you if you make a mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? and they played the whole, you know, they played the whole From Beyond album, beginning to end. And Chamber of Ages, if by memory, I think it's like song 3 or something like that.
Great song.
So they were playing through, and they were on like song 7, and Jim's like, Chamber of Ages, play Chamber of Ages. And like publicly on stage, Cam's like, Jim, that was 3 songs ago. We already played that. So like there's all the shit Jim gave everybody all the fucking time. You know, like, what's going on? Oh, like for me, I started like in the early 90s going to shows and shit. Like, he'd be like, oh, but he'd always try to back it up on me. Like, oh, sure. you didn't see that in 84, 85. I'm like, well, you're right, motherfucker. Yeah, I didn't see it in 84.
Dude, you do that when I first
91.
I remember asking one of my first times I asked him about Monstrosity. We're talking about Mads, like Monstrosity. I was like, you don't like Imperial Doom? Oh, I got the demos. What do I need Imperial Doom for? I was like, well, you can have both.
And that's another thing. Jim, when From Beyond came out, Jim saw that cover, dude.
Yeah, well, the cover was kind of.
He's like, what? Was a fucking worm falling out of the sky? A glowworm?
They changed the logo. I agree. I didn't like the cover too much. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Because I like the old demo logo with the cross.
Oh,
and
me
shit.
too.
Yeah.
So. They went back to using that now, man. So.
Oh yeah. I did see that. Yeah, that was just cool. Yeah.
On their shit and some renditions of it. Cam's a good artist. You know what I mean? Yeah. Underrated artist too. So like. But that's cool the way they did it, like that 7 metal inches. They did like a series of 7-inch singles on there, and then like, you know, the Resurgence album or whatever they got coming out now and everything. But good for them, man. I'm always happy to see, you know, old school bands that represent the beginnings of the genre and the scene out there doing their thing to go along with your Cannibal Corpses and your Incantations and your Immolations. Did you have
like I never asked you. Did you have a cutoff for Cannibal? Like,
no, dude.
Did you like everything?
I like them all.
Yeah,
dude.
So do I. I didn't know if you did.
I mean. Well, so the first few records with the Bob Rousset, you know what I mean? Like up to Tomb of the Mutilated.
Yeah.
His riffing was more disjointed. Like when you used to see them live with him playing, dude, like on Tomb of the Mutilated tours and shit like that, dude, he would just fucking less amount of hair of everybody else in the band, but his style was just fucking just crazy on stage, dude, you know? But he had the more disjointed, non-traditional musician type riffs, dude, that were just fucking killer. kind of like Baxter. He's a very non-traditional music writer. So like drummers like Roy and people like that, you have to really adapt to a writer like that. The Bleeding, I love it, but at first I'll be completely honest with you. I love The Bleeding. Bass sound great. When I first heard it, though, it was sold out on CD at Camelot. When I went to go pick it up, I had to get it on tape.
It's definitely not as brutal as Tombs and shit.
And it's like it was more like A B C like verse, chorus, song structure. Whereas the old shit, you listen to like, Entrails Ripped from a Virgin's Con or shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very like just disjointed. It's here now. It's there. It's fast. It's slowed down. It's fucking.
What's your all-time favorite Cannibal album, man?
Tomb of the Mutilated.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, same here.
Yeah. And Tomb of the Mutilated, working backwards, I like. I don't know, man. Butchered at Birth was such a step up from Eaten Back to Life, but some people only like Eaten Back to Life. But that's so killer too. Like when I got Eaten Back to Life, dude, and you listen to that shit, after the first song and all that, the one that really stands out to me, my favorite song on that one is fucking Mangled, dude.
It's awesome.
Mangled is
I
the
asked
best
George why not play
shit,
that,
dude.
Because
there's 17 riffs in the song, and none of the lyrics repeat in the entire fucking song except for maybe parts of the chorus. Dude.
I told, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you saw my Corpse Grind interview. I was like, play more songs off the first album, maybe what you should do, because it's got the dual vocals where you can sing along. I was like, I know you guys always do pull Skull and replace it with Mangled, because you at least got the dual vocals in that too, where people can sing along. Because that's where the backing vocals were done on those two tracks.
Yeah.
Where all the guys came in, Glenn and them, they did Mangled and Skullful. So I'm like, why not do Mangled? And I guess he said he lobbied for it, but Alex and them like, I don't want to. So we used to play that all the time. He's like, well, I didn't.
Yeah.
Crawl clever at first. Eat your way through the guts. Punch smell of decaying innards enough to drive you nuts.
Spleen is a carcass oozing from your mouth as you chew on the piss-filled kidneys. Like when I heard that, I'm reading the lyrics like, it's spleen of the carcass is oozing from your mouth as you chew on the piss-filled kidneys.
I know the one that's head is ripped right off his throat, shoulders thrown into a pile.
Yeah, how's it go? I can't put myself right into it, but if I know the lyrics to the entire every fucking song on that album, I know the lyrics straight through.
See, that's what I'm saying. When I listen to records like that, that's what maybe it's because I heard it so young. I mean, I didn't hear it in 1990, but it's just like when I listen to records that come out today, there's exceptions, but there are very few. I don't get that feel.
No.
I just don't. I'm like, it's cool. Like people, as you see, people send me their reviews. People send to Hell's demos and stuff. So I'll check new stuff that come out. I'm like, I put it on. I'm like, it's just a death metal record. I was like, I don't get those same vibes and shit like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you know what I mean? Like, it's the
same. And like you say, man, I mean, to me, I covered this before in my last interview, like certain things aren't going to be as impactful to me. If I hear some finished death metal sounding band, like there's some of them when it first started becoming a thing again, like Mortiferum, bands like that, that I dig. I like that. But again, why would I'll just go listen to fucking Sentenced. I'll just go listen to, you know what I mean? Shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, early Sentenced. Let's clarify. We're not talking about any of the later shit that has nothing to do with, Rotting Ways to Misery and Shadows of Past and all that. I mean, the good shit. Abhorrence, fucking Finland, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but what are you going to do? Oh, here you go. Violently cutting, seriously hacking, sounds of death fill the air, plus bones sticking out, ripped from sockets, blood is spurting everywhere, thinking my dead, neck no head, smear remains on your face, violently cutting, seriously hacking, sounds of death fill the air. Like certain shit like that, just you listen to it so many fucking times.
So you guys should just cover it, all the lines.
I told those guys to cover that one. Larry's like, okay, because we usually do one cover at the end of every record or whatever. I no bullshit, been talking about Mangles. Larry's like, but there's 17 riffs that don't repeat in the song. I'm like, exactly, dude. Fucking who cares? Fucking let's rip it out, dude.
Yeah.
That's one that would like throw people for a loop. Because like Severe Torture did one, right? They did
Severe Torture.
They did a Vile song.
Perverse Suffering.
Perverse. Yeah,
exactly. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I know that guy was like, oh, nobody does that.
Yep.
I thought that was great.
And here's another thing: if you're in a band and you're going to do a fucking cover song, do it the way that it goes. You know what I mean? I hate when bands take liberties and take a cover song and then it doesn't sound anything fucking like the fucking song.
They don't even recognize the goddamn song.
You know what I mean? Why even fucking do it?
I'll say this. You know who did that in the times that I respun it about a year ago? Is it a Deranged, a self-title or 3? I think 3. There's the 12-inch version. It comes with a bonus 7-inch.
Yeah,
They cover the Misfits, Some Kind of Hate. I'm like, dude, and I know that song real well. That's like one of my favorite Misfits songs.
But you can't even recognize it.
It's like, where's the cover? I was like, oh, Misfits cover. I was like, I don't remember this. I put it on. I'm listening. I'm like, where's the Misfits? Like, literally, I couldn't. And then, like, when they finally saw, I was like, oh, fucking. And I like Deranged, dude. And I was like, come on, man. This don't this isn't even, I didn't even recognize the goddamn song.
Well, and I'll take it, not just cover songs. Here's a chance to talk about something else too. Like, if you're a vocalist and you join an existing band, sing the fucking songs the way that they go, and have a similar vocal style to the way that it was. I hate, and I'm not going to name any names, but there's been bands out there,
totally
that I'm totally good friends with and everything, where it's like they had a low vocalist and this and that, then they get some high vocalist or a hardcore vocalist or this and that, then they go back to doing it. It's like, dude,
that's what's a guarantee. I don't like it. That's a guarantee. I'm already out. So
that's why, like, for me, like, when I joined Embalmer,
you gotta do that style.
I sang Embalmer songs. I made it a point to sing those songs the way they fucking go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna take liberties and just sing it completely different than what people are used to hearing, man, as a fan myself.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful to the legacy, in my opinion.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, 100%.
So if you're gonna join an existing band that already has a catalog, sing the fucking shit the way it goes, dude.
Yep.
I can't emphasize that enough. It's so annoying when you get a new release of something. Oh, we took out our new vocalist. Oh, he's high pitch. Oh,
dude. Other than changing big time too, I'm practically playing deathcore and crap now. That was a huge problem with that band, Cataclysm. First 2 records, awesome.
I only like that shit. Up the Temple of Knowledge, that's it, man.
Yeah.
And I was lucky to get to see that.
I was like,
back
but
then,
you hear some of the other stuff that some people are like, oh, those 3rd and 4th records are good. They're like, they weren't deathcore yet. I was like, right out the gate, dude. I was like, there's the different vocalists. I was like, I don't like it for that. I was like, it's totally different.
You know what? It's not for me, but guess what? That band's arguably bigger than they've ever been.
Well, they're huge, yeah.
When you see, you know, Maurizio, obviously, people know he's got a booking agency and a management agency, I think, too. So he has an inside scoop on booking all that shit, getting on tours. He's done a lot himself too, man. And you know, Cataclysm back in the day when I first saw them was at the Red Eye. Incantation and Cataclysm went on a tour for Mortal Throne of Nazarene with Dwayne in the band.
Oh yeah, Dwayne was singing for me. Dude, I wish, you know what I want to see come out, just because I know Dwayne and we're I guess we're kind of friends, known him for a long time at the very least. Is like either official recording or a bootleg recording of what the shows he did, because I remember he played like a VHS.
Oh yeah,
we play. I was like, he sounds low and brutal.
He sounds
great. I just want something on like a record.
He was an awesome replacement for Craig Pillar to have to step into those shoes and do that. And what's funny is, dude, he was supposed to, I think he was originally just supposed to be the merch guy on that tour before all those guys quit. And they're like, well, why don't you fucking join? So if that's inaccurate, that's why I don't remember it. But maybe I'm a little bit wrong.
I'm sure he told me the story, but I can't remember what it is. Yeah.
But just to have that based in Cleveland at that time was such a cool fucking time, man. And he did a good job. And I got to go to Michigan Death Fest 4 and go see him play up there, and do his thing. So lots of they played a shitload of shows in Cleveland around that time. I still got all those old flyers. I've been trying to make it a point online I try to organize them by day. So like I've been posting, like, instead of all the whack shit people want to talk about on social media and all the bullshit, I try to keep it metal and just, hey man, here's a flyer from 93. Here's a flyer from 94. Here's a flyer from 2000. So a lot of that shit that you went to when you got into more in the underground shit, I probably got all them fucking flyers, dude.
Yeah.
So that's a lot better conversation than, you know what I mean, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and fucking, Israel and freaking Palestine and the Ukraine and all this other bullshit. I don't want to sound insensitive, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. I got nothing to do with any of that. I got no control over it.
Dude, automatically when people start even just throwing those topics out, I just automatically start getting a headache.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
Yeah, I just got to keep it metal, man. Not enough people just keep it metal, dude, But to your point, as far as the older you get, dude, the less stuff really wows you because
you've heard it.
It is cyclical.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, you got to put yourself in the shoes of a dude
that
was born in 98.
No,
that was born in 2002.
I've been making a much bigger effort to do that, yeah.
So,
all I try to do, and I just do it in my own comedic way, part of it's influenced by Kanye. I poke fun at the youth by telling, hey, it's cool if you like your 200 stab wounds, just like that, but just check out the classics. Check out the Baphomets, the Carnages, the Graves, the old stuff.
Yeah.
The Gorephobias. Like, just go back. That's all I'm asking.
Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, I say fortunately, that shit is immortalized. Yep. I mean, you know what I mean? Whether anyone wants to pay attention or not, like shit like Gorephobia, that's a little less talked about than like Incan and all that. That's legendary shit. You listen to that fucking 7-inch or Bridea's Pathology or that demo that was on Seraphic Decay, also based in Cleveland. We were so super spoiled to have access to all that shit.
Fucking goddamn plug. We're doing a 12-inch picture disc of Morbidius Pathology demo.
Oh.
And on Hell's officially. On the B-side, it's going to be the live tracks from that era that are like the Morbidius era. I mean, it's I forget what month it's coming out. It might be early 2025. That schedule's been laid out. But when that comes out, I'm like, dude, this is the shit. It's not because we're putting out a buy. I'm like, this is one of the best death metal demos ever. Like, this is shit you need if you're a younger, you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Poltergeist Entrapment.
Fucking awesome.
Then when Roy Fox put out, he's here today too. Fucking cheers, Roy. Necroharmonic.
Yeah.
He put out that compilation, the Vile Beast of
Yeah,
Abomination.
this is great.
When you get to hear some of the other songs that weren't on there, like Cremate and Hate, that
Yep.
was an old classic, like
Yeah.
when you saw them. Like
It's one of the bonus tracks.
yeah, man. I mean, they're just totally killer, dude. Like,
When Roy put that CD out and we got him in, automatically that's the stuff like, this is what I buy.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
then
stuff
Dark
like
Descent
this.
did the vinyl with different cover artwork.
But I mean, like,
and they kept it classic. They used Drew Elliott, the original dude that did all the shit.
That's all I did, but that's just
for the artwork. So
cameraman's told us to wrap this up, Paul. So you talked too goddamn long.
Wrap it up, B.
So anything else you want to throw in there then?
Kernergia, quick plug. Morbid and Miserable is doing a vinyl of the Nunslaughter split, so that'll be coming out soon. The Thanatophobia CD, I think, is sold the fuck out. The tape on Head Split might still be available. And we're back in the lab, finally getting some new music, man. Unfortunately, the bands that I work with, I don't know what it's like to have a fast pace of doing fucking anything. I joined Embalmer in 2012, and the album comes out in 2016.
Yeah.
And then the next album, we did a live as a placeholder in 2019, the Embalmed Alive, which is actually my favorite release that I'm on in Embalmer is Embalmed Alive.
That disc is great.
I love the sound.
Yeah,
that is fucking great, man.
Yeah, that disc is awesome.
Like Emanations was cool and all that stuff, dude. If it sounded a little better.
I'm trying to think because Embalmed Alive's never come out on vinyl, right?
No, I would love if it did. Have
right.
it if you want to. I mean,
I'll talk to the boy.
Yeah,
well, I don't know.
That cover artwork is so fucking awesome.
Dude, I like how the cover artwork, those hoodies came out sick.
So awesome. The green.
I love that recording. Yeah, it's got all the classics plus Emanation songs. I love that.
If I had to pick an Embalmer release, my favorite that I'm on, it's that. Dude.
That is a good disc. Yeah.
The new album would be my favorite Embalmer that I'm on, but
you get to sing on,
to be seen if it
you get to sing on the oldies though, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's it. In the end, keep it sick. Keep politics out of fucking metal. Keep PC Weenies out of fucking metal. And, mind your own business and be what you're into and let everybody else be what they're into. And I'll just leave it with that.
That's right, goddammit.